Heavy rainstorm has ripped off the roofs of more than 100 homes and 28 classroom blocks in 5 basic schools at Daboya in the South Gonja district. Daboya DA Junior High School and Makariiza Primary School, Asafo Junior High School and Parabia and Salsiat Primary Schools had their roofs completely blown off.
Yeah, we are overwhelmed by what has just happened in the district capital, Daboya. We do know that North Gonja, for that matter, Daboya is a disaster-prone area, so we are putting up a lot of measures to mitigate the impact next time that it happens.
Now, the heavy downpour did not spare the roofs of 4 mosques and houses of police officers and the district police station either. Electrical appliances and electrical poles, foodstuff and clothing of residents have all been lost to the storm.
At hand, what we would have to do, we are making a passionate appeal to central government, NADMO, civil society organizations and philanthropists to come to our aid, because the assembly alone cannot bear the cost of what has just happened unless we get support coming from other individuals and groups.
My name is Stephen Anti and this is today's big story. Well, our Northern Regional Correspondent Hashmin Mohammed reports that affected victims are living with friends and extended family members. The District Chief Executive of North Gonja, Sekute Yahuza, tells Joynews the District Assembly alone cannot provide all the needed support for these victims. He is therefore appealing to the central government and other non-governmental organizations to come to the aid of residents. Now, we are joined on the telephone by Hashmin. Hashmin, good evening and thanks for joining us on today's big story. So tell me what you have gathered about the about the tragedy as of today.
The devastation in Daboya itself is very, very huge. Right now, NADMO official figures now put the number of displaced to over 1,000 residents in the area. Now the victims themselves are still seeking shelter with friends and other relatives in the district capital, that is Daboya. A while ago, I spoke to the district NADMO coordinator, and what she tells me was that the district NADMO office itself is support aspect. They have
Right, Hashmin, your line is a bit bad. We're struggling to hear what you are saying to us, so we'll put you off and re-establish the contact again. But I also have on the telephone the District Chief Executive of North Gonja, Sekute Yahuza. Good evening, sir, and thanks for joining us on today's big story.
Good evening, my brother.
I hope I got your name correct, Sekute Yahuza.
It's Soku Yahuza.
Soku.
S-O-K-U.
Soku Yahuza. Yeah, thank you very much for the correction. So, what can you do to help these people? Let's start with that.
For now, the situation is so devastating that the assembly is very limited in terms of resources, but we're doing everything within our own limitations to see how we'll be able to mitigate the effect of the devastation. But for now, I would like to appeal to the central government, NADMO, philanthropists and well-meaning Ghanaians to come to the aid of our people. The situation is beyond the capacity of the district assembly. It will not be able to bear what has just happened. It's so devastating.
You sound very helpless, I mean, under the circumstance, and that surprises me, especially because you are the representative of government on the ground, at the local level. Are you saying until central government drops to your level, you're not able to marshal solutions for the problem that affect you at your level?
Yeah, we would be able, but I am very confident that what we do will not be enough, to be able to mitigate the impact unless we get support from central government and other, organizations.
Right. So that brings us back to the question I asked, really, that what can you do or what are you doing to help these people? Because we agree, I mean, you and I have come to the agreement that you can't do everything, you can do some. What are the some that you are willing to do and are able to do, and how quickly can you get that done to get these people to have some relief?
When the issue happened quickly, I dispatched my district NADMO coordinator to go around and take a stock of the damage caused by the downpour.
Right.
She's done that. And now we called the regional NADMO outfit. And the information is that we'd have to put the reports together and submit to their office. So that is exactly what we are doing. But for now, we are trying to see how we'll be able to get temporary place for those who were displaced by the downpour, for them to live in until we get, an appropriate place or support to be able to put them back to, the position in which they were before this downpour.
Right, and obviously this doesn't appear to be enough. So, I mean, as DC for the area, you are in touch with NADMO and the necessary agencies that are supposed to bring relief to the people. What more do they need?
For now, looking at the situation, you would realize that majority of the people are now helpless. As a district, let me be very frank with you, we've not been able to achieve open defecation free in the district. So you can still have particles of, some fecal particles around the area. And they have their cooking utensils and other food just lying at the mercy of the weather. So if we are not able to get support in time, it might also lead to something different. That will be too serious for us to be able to manage.
Right, Mr. Auza, I'll hold you on the line. I've been joined back by Mohammed Hashmin, who is our Northern Regional Correspondent. So, Hashmin, I was asking earlier that you have been in contact with the displaced residents. What are they telling you are their main needs? Because obviously the DC is saying that the Assembly cannot provide all the needs, but what are the basic things they require to get by whilst the Assembly waits for central government aid to come? Ashmin, if you can hear me, I'm asking you, I mean, in your interaction with the people, what are their most pressing needs now that the Assembly can help them resolve? Right, I think that we're facing challenges getting a clear line to Hashmin. I reckon that there could be something related to do with the network stability. So the district chief executive is still on the line. So Mr. Yahuza, I agree with you that in a situation where the residents, the displaced residents have their cooking utensils and their personal effects at the mercy of the weather, there could be the possibility that fecal matter and the rest could wash into them, and we will be staring at a cholera outbreak. What are you doing? Are you in touch with the relevant health authorities to also be watchful for any outbreaks?
Yeah, I have just gone around to, kind of empathize with the victims, with the district director of Ghana Health Services.
Right.
And then he's also putting up measures to dispatch his team to go around and talk to the people as to how to keep themselves with respect to what has just happened to us.
So what, your contingency measures are just educational campaign, just to educate them on what to do, the safety measures? I would think that you would do more, like
and also relocate them from where they are now to other temporary places. For instance, we have some classrooms that are more habitable. You recall, we have just had the Gonjaland Youth Association Congress in Daboya. The program ended only yesterday, then this issue happened. So we have some of the classrooms that the assembly has rehabilitated, so they will be more habitable for the people to live in there. These are some of the contingency measures we have put in. And we have also appealed to National Disaster Management Organization to supply us with temporary tents where we can put some of the victims there.
Right, Mr. Elza, I'll have you hold. I have the NADMO person joining us, Constance Abibat Hassan, I'm told. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on today's big story. Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on today's big story.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
The DC is telling us that he has made an appeal to NADMO. I don't know if the appeal came to you directly for the provision of tents for these displaced residents in the Daboya area. How far with that?
Yeah, he has made an appeal, and we called Darsina to ask for a tent because so far we don't have any single tent here. And we were asked to connect and get us some. Yeah.
So that's it. So it means that NADMO itself, I mean, I realize that many times when NADMO has to do disaster management, it's so difficult for NADMO to raise the resources to go to the aid of people who are displaced. And mostly, you need to go back and forth before you are able to do that. What is the problem NADMO is facing? Do you have peculiar challenges?
The problem is we are a new district here, and anytime we have a disaster, ours is to write to Tamale, then Tamale will now forward it to Accra. Then Accra people are supposed to give us the aid here, but we always write and go, they don't mind, they don't give us anything. So it's making us reluctant when, like the way we walk, we went around today. You go, you will be writing their names, some of them will be talking, and we write our names and we don't see anything. Then we tell them they should be patient. So we are now trying again to NADMO at the national level to help us, because some of the women today, if it is raining, is going to be another disaster. Otherwise, we send them back to the, some of the classrooms. And some of the classrooms, too, they are not safe.
I see. I mean,
we are just pleading that NADMO should, in fact, help us with some of the things.
This must be very frustrating for your work. I mean, if you have disaster on your hand and you need to go through a process of lobbying and writing to your head office and more like begging, you are just telling me that you are pleading for NADMO to come to your aid. But it's unbelievable that these things take so long. Why?
Well, it's our people with it.
So what are you doing in your small way? I know that as NADMO coordinator for the district, you told me that is a new district, but you must have been up and doing something. What exactly are you doing to bring some form of relief to the people ahead of the central government or maybe your headquarters relief arriving?
Yeah, we only gave them some classrooms. We organized some maps for them so that, because all of their belongings are no more in good condition, so we gave them, we arranged for some maps and gave it to them. And we are still looking at maybe they can, NADMO can come in again, because here we don't have anything with us here as of right now, but we have organized some maps for them.
Right.
So that it will lie down.
So let's do some specifics. I'm keeping a while longer with you because you are the NADMO person on the ground. If we take, for example, Daboya DA Junior High School, we also understand that Marikazia Primary School and Asafu JSS and Parabia and Salsiat Primary Schools had their roofs blown off. Now, of these schools, which of them are the most serious situation, and how are you handling the crisis in these schools?
The critical one is the Asafu Junior High School, the Salsiat, and then the Cardiac. Yeah, so we are looking forward to see if maybe we can get some of the things that are not torn off. Some are torn, and so that we patch it for a bit until the children are on vacation.
Right, this must be very frustrating for you. We'll still hold you there, Madam Constance Abiba Hassan, and we will still hold you and speak to the DC. So, Mr. Yahuza, if you're still here, I know that the situation your NADMO coordinator is creating for us is very worrying. There are schools involved. What are the plans for you to perhaps ensure that when school reopens, these children can return to the classroom and do some work?
Yeah, quickly, what we are trying to do is the assembly would be able to mobilize some resources, you know, that are within our reach, and then get some of the classrooms back to shape. But, you know, the rest of it, we will not be able to do everything. The rest of it, that is why we're calling on the central government and non-governmental organizations, philanthropists, other well-meaning Ghanaians to come to our aid to be able to mitigate the impact of the downpour.
Your NADMO coordinator sounded very dejected and frustrated, and it's almost like she's giving up. Doesn't the assembly have contingency funds you can fall on in such emergencies?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what we are going to use, you know. But considering the extent of the disaster, the contingency fund might not be enough to be able to solve, you know, to be able to mitigate the impact of the disaster. So we need support from outside.
I see. So how much do you have, and how much are you anticipating to use?
From where I am, my brother, I might not be able to tell exactly
I mean,
what we have.
It would have been very interesting if we were able to say you have maybe only 300 cities or 3,000 cities in your coffers, and you are going to use 2,000 to do this. Do you not have control over the figures?
To get my finance officer online, and he would be the right person to tell you exactly what we have.
Right. It's sad, really very sad. I mean, so this is a new district, like the NADMO coordinator is telling us. How are you getting by with limited resources? Do you get your Assembly Common Fund coming in timely enough for you to use for the things that must be done?
Yeah, we do, but it's not as we anticipated. We all appreciate the fact that Ghana today, we are going through a lot of challenges, and it's just for the time being. With time, I'm very confident, inshallah, things will normalize and would be able to move on as a new district.
I like your enthusiasm, but not many people will share your confidence. Where is the help going to come from, if you can tell us? And how quickly do you think the help will arrive to these people who are the mercy of the weather and could get an outbreak of cholera if nothing is done, really?
Thank God we have you, and Joynews have a very larger and bigger voice. So on this platform, I'm appealing to Ghanaians. I'm appealing to well-meaning Ghanaians. I'm appealing to civil society organizations to come to the aid of North Gonja district. We are seriously in dire need. The situation is so devastating.
Right.
We are very helpless. There's nothing we can do about it.
So Mr. Soku Yahuza, we're grateful. We'll still have you hold. We are trying hard to get our correspondents on the ground, but we're grateful for your time, the DC, for the North Gonja. Is there anything you want to say which you haven't told us? Right, I think we've lost him. My name is Stephen Enti, and we're trying to get Mohammed Hashmin, who's our correspondent, back onto the phone to give us a first-hand So our reporter, we're told, is back on the line. So Hashmin, tell us, I was asking earlier that you have been interacting with the victims, correct? Right, Yahuza is back on the line. I was asking before I let you go, we're sorry for the back and forth because we are having technical challenges trying to raise our correspondent on the line. So the DC is still on the line. Mr. Yahuza, I was saying before you bounced off whether there is anything in particular you want to tell us about the situation on the ground and beyond just asking for assistance from well-meaning Ghanaians and civil society groups and NGOs, etc.
Thank you very much, my brother. You see, what is happening to us today is a clear manifestation that climate change is staring us in the face. I am saying this straight to my people in North Gonja, that climate change is settled and is gradually staring us in the face. And if we don't stop what we are doing to the environment, i.e. the logging, the charcoal burning, the illegal mining, and the bush burning, if we don't stop all of these, what has just happened to us today could well be described as a tip of the iceberg. As an assembly, we are doing our best to sort of reduce the impact of the disaster. But this might not be enough. You know, the Daboya, not Gonja for that matter, Daboya is a disaster-prone area. And so we have requested NADMO to do us a favor by way of, you know, giving us a disaster mitigation plan for us to be able to use it, you know, in future to guide us in our planning processes.
Right. We're very grateful to you. Suku Yahuza is the District Chief Executive of North Gonja, and we're trying to get in contact with our correspondent. So Constance from NADMO, you're still on. So I know that this is a dicey situation now. The DC has said everything, including the fact that he's calling on people, residents in the area, to be mindful that their own activities like felling of trees, logging, bush burning, etc., contributing to global warming could be bringing more of these disasters to the doorstep of the people. Is NADMO up to scratch? Should we be depending on NADMO in emergencies like this? Can you help? Right. I think we're Constance Abib Al-Hassan, who is a NADMO coordinator. Yeah. Can you hear me? I was saying that the DC has said quite a lot, and I'm asking you whether the way things are going, NADMO is an organization we can depend on, because DC is asking for civil society groups to come in and help, whilst NADMO, the state institution mandated to do that, is totally helpless. Can we continue to depend on NADMO?
Yeah.
Madam Al-Hassan, Constance, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
So I'm saying that, can we continue to depend on NADMO?
No, we cannot continue depending on NADMO because these things are always delaying. We only ask for NGOs who see them, then those the relevant societies, if they can help us. Because right now, the people are still there. We have no tent for them to lie down. We only send them to the schools. But how are we sure that the schools, if right now the weather is not good, well, how sure are we that the schools, those left, will not be ripped off? That is our fear right now. Now, we send them, they are in the schools, and we are asking for people for support to come and help us so that we let them go back into their classes. The Red Cross Society, they should help us so that we make them go back to their homes, because it's very, very sympathetic. When I went there and saw them in the home, when I was doing the assessment, in fact, I myself, I went.
Right.
So we are begging.
Right. We're very grateful. Madam Constance Abibal Hassan is NADMO coordinator for the North Gonja district, and Hashmin is back on. Hashmin, we've been trying extensively to get you back online. So I was asking if you've interacted with some of the displaced residents, and what have they been telling you?
Well, the displaced residents have been telling me that with the extent of devastation caused as a result of the rainstorm, they have lost all their a lot of their valuable properties, and they have since been appealing to government and other non-governmental organizations to come to.
Right, so I mean, Hashmin, this is just the same thing that the DC and the NADMO coordinator are telling me. So when you look at the situation on the ground, what do you think are the immediate needs of these displaced residents? I mean, we know that they have to be housed, but their immediate needs are what?
Their immediate needs are just that they need some roofing sheets, they need food, and they will also need they will also need other materials that can help them to put their structures, their houses back to shape again, because in some cases, some of their houses have been completely washed off.
You did say in your report that there are big over 100 houses affected, but can you tell us roughly the number of people that have been affected in this storm?
As at the time of leaving the district, NADMO estimation was 1,461 displaced residents, and that was an interim figure because they were still counting. My understanding was that in other communities apart from the district capital, Daboya, there have been some other displaced residents.
Right, Hashmin, we're very grateful for your time. This is where we bring the curtains down for today's big story. And if you just joined us, we're saying that a heavy rainstorm has ripped off roofs of over 100 homes and 28 classrooms blocks in 5 districts at the Daboya North Gonja district. And you heard our reporter, regional correspondent, saying that over 1,280 people or more have been displaced, and they're still counting. NADMO is helpless. NADMO can't do everything. The district assembly is still waiting for the central government to bring support. So individuals, philanthropic organizations, civil society groups, and NGOs, you should come to their aid. My name is Stephen Enti. This has been today's big story. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with an interactive segment. Stay with us. To the interactive segment. Beautiful, sumptuous Marian Toure is here. I'm giving you appellation.
Appellation.
Do you know what I mean? How are you?
It's
a holiday.
It's a holiday, yes, but we're here for our audience.
I know. It's nice when they're home and they're watching
they're
us.
They're expecting to see us.
Yeah.
Come and talk to them about
you look nice.
Thank you.
This is Brazilian.
Yeah, you're going to pay for it to continue flipping my hair.
I'm just being silly. What do you have for us?
Today we're talking about the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
Same.
Yes, over a century.
Yeah, 180 years.
Can you imagine?
There'll be no major
maintenance, nothing at all.
Jesus, if your relative gets then
God
you're
forbid.
in trouble. Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm thinking people are taking their relatives to the churches and other places rather than
I think we should
go
have
to the
a
right
state institution which can deal effectively with these things.
We should.
It boils down on our maintenance culture.
It's about time. It's about time.
Anyway,
whatever our colonial masters left for us, they're still there. I mean, look at the Tema motorway, for instance.
Don't say it.
I mean, we had to fight just for it to be closed for the government of the day to fix it for us.
Adomi Bridge.
That's another one. Let me zip it before
let's hear you.
I end up in national security.
I know. So let's hear you then.
Thank you. This is your interactive show. My name, as always, is Marian Toure, and welcome. So welcome to the show, your interactive show. Today is Easter Monday, but things are trending, and of course we're talking about it. Before we start, though, as always, I like to announce the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. You would find us on facebook.com/Joynews on TV. Comment on the post. We have put something there. Comment on it. It would amplify your voice by sharing it with the rest of the world. We are on Twitter. The main page is @Joynews on TV. And we have another Twitter page for the show, JN Interactive GH. So you can send your tweet to either, and we will amplify your voice. I am on Twitter too, and I tweet @MNToure. So you have 3 Twitter accounts just to send your tweets through to. If you are sending us an email, it will be joynewsim@multitvworld.com, and our WhatsApp number is 054 0109 9009, and so send everything that you're sending through, and we would amplify it and share it all with the rest of the world. And as you know, JN Interactive is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So today, in our agenda setting role, we're talking about the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, and I'm hoping that you would follow the story that was actually, posted on the Radio XY and Z website today, that fire has actually ripped through the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, and this is the story which is trending, which we're also talking about, and it actually happened today. And the meat of the story is that some of the operations of the psychiatric hospital will be grounded following the fire disaster that ripped through the facility. The fire destroyed cash, computers, copiers, clothing, as well as folders of staff and patients. And items destroyed run into thousands of Ghana cedis, and the intervention of the fire officials, whom we have to commend at this moment. If it weren't for their timely intervention, the fire would have spread to bigger areas of the hospital. And we had a chance to actually speak to the Deputy Director of Nursing at the hospital, who is in the person of Insia Anyete, and he was actually briefing what actually happened. So we would go and then take our first video blog, and in our first video blog he's actually telling us the extent of the damage at the hospital. Stay tuned.
When I peeped through, I realized that the whole office, whatever we have in the office, was gone, remained in ashes. And in fact, we had a big cupboard there that contains files of staff all raised down. The secretary computer, system unit, the UPS, the monitor, everything, all the accessory gone. The copier waiting to be repaired, also gone. And the ladies who work here, they have their uniform sewn, those in use and those to be sold, also gone. I think basically these are the items in renovation. Because now the patient number is going down because of the operation 600. We get a lot of them home and they are doing well, so the number is going down. We used to be about 1,200. Now we have 487 at the moment. Quite remarkable. But then we need to also improve the type of service we provide. As the patient number going down, the staff number also going up, which also come with improved logistics, improved environment. The idea of taking care of patients is about improving their environment, make them feel that they are also people, not to leave them as the people perceive them to be.
Okay, so that was Mr. Nsia talking to us there. He also says that, the hospital environment alone is enough, and I'm sure if you saw there, to actually, stigmatize the inmates who are there. Let's take our next one, and then when we come back, I'll seek some clarification on some of the other things that are happening around the hospital, and also pick the comments that you have been sharing with us on Facebook. We'll take our next video blog.
This very reason is causing a lot of readmission, because the society has a mindset. So when they are discharged home, they don't see them as people they know. They see them as people who are not part of them and they do not support them. So in no time, with the stress coming from societal distance, make a lot of them return. So we have a lot of readmission, and that is costing us a lot.
Today it's the mental hospital. Another day it could well be another state agency. And I really want to find out what you make of the Ghanaian maintenance culture. That is exactly what I'm asking you today on JN Interactive. So you can join us with your comments, as always, on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on our WhatsApp number, and we will share it with the rest of the world. We are trying to reach the Deputy Director of in charge of nursing services at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, actually speak to him about what is happening there. But whilst I wait for him to come on, I'll take some of your comments that I've been dropping you on social media to bridge the gap and, you know, take some of your comments. And we have set the precursor. That's for 108 years. That is an entire century and almost a decade. Can you imagine? 108 years. No renovation has taken place at the hospital. We wanted you to share your thoughts about our maintenance culture here as Ghanaians. And so many comments, 46 comments, have dropped in so far. And so we are actually going through to take some of them. And then when he joins us on the line, Bonti says, Kumasi, very poor and must be enhanced. So you are sending this in from Kumasi. And Pamford just says it's normal. You think it is really normal? Wow. Wesley Maybach just says, very, very bad. God help us. And I'll take another comment because the gentleman is on the line with us now. Our leaders, chop leaders. That's what you're thinking, that Oga is chopping all of our money. But I have Mr. Insian Anyete, yes, Anyete, on the line right now, and he's a Deputy Director in charge of nursing at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Good evening and welcome to JN Interactive.
Yeah, good evening, brother.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm fine.
Okay, I really want to find out, in terms of renovation, what exactly do you expect, you know, to be renovated about the hospital? What renovation needs do you have as a hospital?
The hospital now is around 108 years. And even though the walls, the concrete structure, quite strong, but we realize that there are a few cracks here and there.
Right.
Yeah, nobody knows when. Yes.
I want to find out, how about staff numbers and the services that are in there and, you know, the inmates? How the ratio of staff to inmates that you have? Do you have any issues on that as well?
You mean when it's all staff, I think you're talking about nurses, the doctors, or you're not talking about the entire staff there. The entire staff hovers around a little about 700, but the nurses are around 400 there, about. For nurses, if you look at marginally, it's better because we used to be around 1,002, and we actually embarked on, you have probably heard before, Operation 600, which has significantly helped reduce the number from that number, that time, 1,200, like today, 487 as of this morning.
Right.
More patients we have there. So you can see that every day we have, even though there are a few nurses who are on study leave here and there, but looking at the number that come in, we can see that marginally it's better. Nurse patient ratio is better.
But what about the quality of service that you deliver to your inmates? Would you say it's the best that you can give so far?
Yeah, regards to nurse patient ratio is a bit improved because the contact time, you're looking at number of nurses, nurse patients, yeah, and then the time that the patient has with the nurse. It's a bit better, but it's not the best.
Right.
It's not the best. I must say it's not the best.
Okay. But I'd like to find out, where do you get funding from? The hospital, the psychiatric hospital. Where does your funding come from?
Yeah, we heavily dependent on the government.
Right.
At about 100%. Once a while, individuals, no-profit organizations come to help.
Right.
Seriously, I must say.
So So at this moment in time, what do you need government to do for you besides renovation?
Things to work with. As I speak at the moment, psychotropic medication, there was an emergency meeting organized by the nursing division. Apparently, the charges were who were for the concern. That we met, and they asked me as their head to come in to discuss the issue. And most of their complaints have been psychotropic medication, because the nurses are at the front line. These nurses are the patient 24 hours round. So if the patient becomes aggressive or reacts abnormally, so to speak, the nurses are the ones who will start to try to handle the patient. And this medicine that will assist them to manage the patients are not there. You can see the stress level. So they weren't happy. But I understand that the process to get psychotropic medication, it takes a very long time. For instance, psychotropic medication for this year, I've started way back 2 years. So sometimes we wonder why we find ourselves in a particular year and we don't have psychotropic medication. Either some 2 years back, maybe something went, and these are issues that we are concerned, because the patients are there. Whether you have medicine or not medicine, the patients are there. So we are pleased that government to do whatever possible to make sure that psychotropic medication are available.
Right.
That's our prayer.
Right. So I'm actually wondering, as an institution, a state institution, of course, I am sure that there are ways of perhaps generating funds on your own. Couldn't that be the way forward from here on if government is not doing what it ought to do and your needs are always rising? Couldn't you perhaps set up a fund yourself to ask people, I mean, ordinary people, workers like us, to contribute to a fund? What are you doing about it yourselves?
Yeah, let me think from you know, by policy, mental health is physically free. I hope you are aware.
Yes.
So
yeah.
The issue of generating funds is not something we'll talk about. Mental health authority, we thank the current government with who have done very well through the passage of the law. The LI significantly is supported, and I'm sure sooner or later it will come out. The Secretary Committee are with. They're making sure that a few logistics here and there. But this popular idea, the Obako for instance, they are one person, they are. You know, these are issues we're talking about. You know, the government is trying to support two in and take to make sure that we are grounded. I'm saying that we need support. I mean, something should be done. Corporate organizations worldwide, not only in Ghana, to come to our aid. Because mental health, but without mental health, there's no health. Yes. So we should, Ghanaian as people, we should decide today that this is where we want to take mental health.
Right.
What level? We should decide today. And it's very, very important. Because if you don't do that, there's a lot of people who are languishing, who are suffering in the fight. And at the end of the day, Ghana is going to suffer. So we should take a decision to try to support mental health in various ways, logistics, improving strategies, listening to the system, improving, we want to go to community. So what structures we want to have in the community? We want people to come together. Like we had a stakeholders meeting on the airline. There were a lot of people there. So we want to see people, when the time they are invited, either through the media, to come together and let's share issues and then listen to the cattle of their concerns. So at least, I'm sure there are a lot of Ghanaians there who really can come for the hospital, such as buying medicine for the hospital.
Right.
It will not be the overall burden of the government. It is commission once, so I said it in a way. We believe that other, state organizations and private organizations can come in to support it.
Right. Speaking about private organization, I'd like to ask, do you have anything in place to actually take on volunteers, for instance? Because my mother, it's a retired mental health nurse with a brain injury specialty from the UK. And she is retired and she lives in this country. Basically, she's at home. If she decided to say that, look, I want to volunteer my services to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, what processes have you put in place to allow people like these who have the expertise and the knowledge to come and volunteer their services?
Yeah, I think that's welcome. But, you know, for nurses, we have a regulatory body like doctors. So if the person applies to the Nurse and Midwife Council for Ghana and wants to work in the psychiatric hospital, I think it's very laudable. I think the person will be supported. The person can even make the first approach to the mental health authority.
Right.
And I think mental health authority can assist the person to have the right to come and assist those working in the psychiatry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nsianyate, for all the clarification. And he is director in charge of nursing services at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, guiding us there with what they actually need to keep the hospital going. I'd like to take some of your comments also that have been dropping in on social media, especially on Facebook, before we wrap up. And this one is coming from Bismarck Owusu, and you were saying Mahama working for them, it's useless. NDC government must be kicked out immediately. Chia government indeed. I thought this Chia phrase had actually died out, but it looks like it's resurfacing. Marisa Tipo, we lack it seriously. You can see that in the trotros and taxis in town. Wadad Abdul, politicians in general should be blamed for the menace. Very bad. Eric Nyako Jr. says, for me, I think our leaders don't understand maintenance culture in the first place. Lovelace says, these are the areas money must be pumped into and not into politics. Abubakar Yakubu, very bad to leave it like that. I'm sure that's what you want to say. And you are sending this Lloyd Bismarck from Hove, very, very annoying and shameful. And Lloyd again, Ghana politicians are just selfish and greedy. Trust me. I know it already, my dear. Emmanuel says, I think curriculum developers must have to find a way of including a special training in our educational, and then you end their system, I'm sure. Al-Hassan Sumani Jr., ambassadors of poverty and corruption, corrupt politics are those politicians who are preventing us from curbing this problem. I pray and hope the Tiger PI of course, exposes all these institutions that are corrupt within the shortest possible time. Prince Bwedi, simply nothing to write home about. And says, I beg, this cannot be true. 108 years pa. Hey, I'm a Ghana. Anything Kwame Nkrumah left for this country is either sold or allowed to rot. So if you don't get anything from your mother-in-law, you steal her. I like that. What a shame. Yes, it is a shame indeed. Prince Mansa, I say you guys had such facts and it was kept undercover till now. Why do you bring it up now? After all, what's the role of media? My dear, we are not here to do an expose on the psychiatric hospital. There was a fire and we have found out that, you know, with everything that has happened, the building is actually 108 years old and it has not been renovated, so we are bringing that to the fore. So I don't think that any journalist would find information and then decide to sit on it. It won't be to anyone's benefit. Baba Musa Tamale, it is quite unfortunate and government must do something to help the situation. Orlando, no comment. It is very painful. Orlando, you have just commented and you've made my day. Thank you. Karim says, for maintenance, 0 out of 10. As if we don't use huge sums to build those structures. Julie Seidu says, what maintenance culture? There isn't any. There isn't one here. Of course, we don't even have one. Richie says, very, very poor, especially on government properties. Akrogu Stephen says, very typical of a Ghanaian. It is after a problem that we now plan. And the fire reports by international investigators to seat comfortably is seated comfortably at the Flagstaff House, and Ghanaians don't know what is in the report after using taxpayers' money to pay them. It's a pity. And yes, I agree, it's a pity. Kwe Euphoria says, wow, this is bad for the politicians and management of the hospital. Lord have mercy on us. Faisal Mohammed, is quite an unfortunate situation. This is one area the government must pay attention to. Abdullahi Abdul Razak, it is imperative on the part of government to do more in order to provide them with the necessary facilities. They deserve better. Emmanuel Tete, we wait to kill someone before it gets repaired. Abuga Abel, it's about time we learn how to regularly maintain our facilities and not wait till they are run out before, because we end up spending more than necessary. Samora Usuji, the earlier they do the renovation, the better. Nyamiche, they have to act promptly because it is healthcare center. God help Ghana. Agbenu, reflection. I like your name. For maintenance culture, Ghana is the first compared to none. Oh, JM government, help us. Oh. JB says, we Ghanaians are all interested in damage control. Very bad. Nana Boatin Theophilus, oh Lord have mercy on us. Oh. We wait to kill someone before we get the repair. No. Patrick Napari, next should be the chieftaincy department, followed by the Flagstaff House. Flagstaff House was built not long ago, Abi? Or? Oh, okay, well. If it's the seat of government you're talking about, I believe it had been renovated, and so it doesn't need any further renovations. Perhaps the castle at Osu, the former castle, the seat of government needs renovation. Idris says the government should put measures in place to help our brothers and sisters who unfortunately are mentally retarded. Yes, you know, there's a thin line between good mental health and switching over to the next level. We all have that capability and the capacity in us to actually switch over. So I believe it will be great for us to play our role as individuals as well. Precious Lydia says maintenance culture. It's the epidemic caused by the virus. It belongs to the government. Ghanaians are more concerned about private benefits than public gains. And here, Mazi Felix, our maintenance culture is very, very poor. The problem is that in Ghana, we are not proactive at all. We allow the havoc to happen before we try to do something about it. Where were the maintenance officers then? Theo Kwe, I am indeed crestfalling that such a vital hospital location here in Accra has not seen renovation for years. If it's the president's house in his village, contractors will be falling over themselves in a bid to renovate it. Your comments, very, very well taken, and I'm hoping that someone in government is actually listening, because all of these state institutions are very, very important to all of us, and that's why I draw the curtains for today. Steve is back, so we can wrap up together. Welcome back, my brother.
Warren, I was at the National Theatre to watch Nikome's Anti-Clockwise. You know, I had friends and family visiting from London, so I took them to watch a play. And I was shocked about the state of the National Theatre. Some of the carpets were torn, the air conditions were not working, and my guests were literally just fanning themselves all through the 2 hours of the play. I felt embarrassed. It took away the shine of a great play, really.
I went to watch Uncle Ebo's latest play as well. I actually got a media ticket to go and watch it, and throughout I could have gasped for air, seriously. It was really hot in there. But people are paying money to use the place, so what happens to the money? We are quick to build, you know, put up structures.
I think the Flagstaff House need to start getting bits and pieces of maintenance. I mean, you know, I mean, how it's done in other places. People wake up at dawn, 4 a.m. and scrub the street and fill the potholes before daybreak.
But here we do it at noon when there's traffic.
Anyway, that's how we wrap it. And stories you should expect in News at 8. It's been over a month since the Adome Bridge was closed down to traffic. So during News at 8 today, we're taking an exclusive guided tour of the renovation side, and then we'll show you what is happening. Work is actually progressing very steadily.
And also in News at 8, a very strange and pungent water weed is threatening the coastline and aquatic life of some beaches in the capital. We will find out what these weeds are and their effect on the residents, also in News at 8.
Right, so that's how we wrap for
the holiday edition.
And my name is Stephen Enti, and up next is Joynews exclusive.
My name is Marian Toure. Have a fabulous evening. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Yeah, and we're told that we're bringing Anas's
Soul Takers tonight.
So Soul Takers will replace Joynews exclusive. For a special.
Pay attention. It's gruesome, but then I think it's a reality that we all have to face, that it is happening.
It's happening.
Yes.
Stephen Enti here.
Marian Toure. Good evening.
Good evening.